Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the show, y'all. It's your boy Kenny, joined by my co-pilot right there, Skips, man. We are back with a weekly recap, baby. Weekly recap. Yes, I said weekly recap. You heard it first here. All right, I said it backwards. But we're not back. We're not as backwards with the show, y'all, because we're back with that House of the Dragon, man.
Oh, yeah.
Hot fire, breathing down on y'all right now. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. It's like right about there. It's like right over there. Go smash that thing, man. Go smash it right now. Hit that like button and make sure you share us with all your friends, family, coworkers, and anything of the like, man. We're trying to get the Phantom Frequency community strong all across the multiverse, man. So make sure you do that. And if you're listening on the podcast form, we appreciate and love each and every one of you as well. And if you want to keep hearing these sultry voices, make sure you click download and you follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, all the different places you get your podcasts. And with no further ado, my friend, we are going to get into this episode. And one thing I will say off the top, man, it's getting better and better with this series, man. It is getting better and better. I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's getting better and better, dog.
I'm enjoying it. I'm really liking that you're enjoying the show too.
Yes, man. I'm telling you, the trailers. It was intrigued. I never thought I'd be where I'm at right now with this thing, man. I never thought I'd be where I'd be at right now.
I told you,
I was like I said, I'll save my thoughts for the end of the recap section. But I'm fucking with it, man. I'm fucking with it. So
okay.
But yeah, man. So like I said, we're gonna get to the recap portion of the show where we go through all the big plot points of the series. Of the particular episode. Sometimes I go in order, sometimes I don't, depending on how I take my notes. But this time, I went in chronological order, so you can go with each step of the process with us, guys. So, starting off the episode, Damon's back, y'all. Guess who's back?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got guess who's back again. Damon's back,
dude.
back. Hide your daughter.
Oh
Fuck it. We're gonna get into all that, man. But yeah, he's back home. And he has returned. It has now been a year time jump since episode 3 as well. So now it's 4 years since the top of the series.
That's
so we're
insane,
moving
dude.
along, guys. We're already through high school and shit, man. Time flies, don't it? And yeah, so Damon's back from the big ordeal with the crabs and all these people. And he's been named king of the Narrow Sea. I got that right?
You got that right pretty
I didn't even write that shit down, dog. I didn't even write that shit down, y'all. It's sticking, man.
Yeah.
It's sticking. That's a good sign. I like it. But yeah, so Damon's back, and he's the king of the Narrow Sea, but he offers the crown to his brother to extend an olive branch, if you will, of solidarity. Because, these guys have been at each other's necks for the most part throughout this season and have kind of had a tumultuous relationship, it seems like, throughout their entire lives. But Viserys definitely got a lot of love for him, I think, just as a brother and in that way. So
yeah,
I love that. They kind of have
heart.
a little bit of that brotherly love that's hidden deep in there, but they definitely have too many differences with each other to really get along. But I think if shit's gonna hit the fan, White Wedding style, I think they team up. So I definitely like that dynamic they're building at here. But there was a lot of cool tension in the beginning because you weren't sure at first if Viserys was gonna go get that ass. He looked a little pissed at first. I was like, oh shit, he might have had enough of his shit by now. But he did it. And he actually had that restraint. So I was a little surprised at that.
Yeah.
And he did. And Daemon handed him that crown and said, okay, cool. You handed this over. I appreciate it. So he's like, you're the true head of the Iron Throne, Your Grace. You're the true king, not me. They just gave me this honor because I kicked a lot of ass. So he says, all right, you can get whatever you want. I will give you one wish that, whatever request you want, I'll give you that since you offered it up. And then Rhaenyra is apparently still looking for potential spouses because her and her dad talked last episode and he said, you got to look for somebody, but I'll let you pick. But you better get somebody because shit's going down. And if I got to fucking remarry somebody after I had to watch your mom die, you gonna marry somebody too, you little bitch. And I was like, well, yeah, I kind of get it. I kind of get it.
Yeah,
I kind of get where he's coming from.
Right?
He has been under a lot of stress and shit that he necessarily didn't choose either. So I was like, okay, I get it. I don't think he wants to do everything he has to do either. I understand it. He's not a complete bad guy. He's not just a emotionless. You know what I mean? He tries to be the best king he can. I think from his actions and things like that. He's trying to just go along with the program and unify another strong house with theirs, so that way they can keep the control they have and keep the peace that's been going on in King's Landing and all over the different parts of the realms and stuff. So I totally get his perspective on it, but Rhaenyra's like, I ain't trying to marry any of these motherfuckers, man. And you got this old ass dude at the front of the line, and I'm like, who let his old ass in here?
Yeah,
he's like 80. What's going on here? She's like,
he's about to die at any point.
Father. Yeah, she's like, this is some bullshit, man. This ain't even Hugh Hefner stuff. At least he was cool, you know. You know, he was very spry for a long time. Like, I get that, but I don't want this dude. He's older than my pops. That's fucking nasty. And then you got a 10-year-old walking up in here. Yeah, and I will say, kid's kind of a badass. I kind of like that. You might see him doing some shit because we're going to be time jumping quite a bit as the series goes along. You might see him in some big battles later because he ain't a little pussy, man. He was fucking that dude up. I like that.
Oh yeah, when that little cunt on the side was keep on talking shit about him.
Yeah.
I was so glad because when I was hearing him fight in the background when she decided to fucking leave, I was like, dude, that kid better beat his ass, and then he ended up stabbing him. I was like, all right, I'm like,
okay.
I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Get this little... The way he was talking his shit, the guy was trying to be... the kid was trying to be, you know, be respectful, saying, I'm going to protect you. The guy was mocking about it. And then after... Right,
he got that heckler, bro. He's like, what the fuck you say, motherfucker?
Yeah, like, he was actually... He handled this shit, and that's all it was.
I was like, I like this kid. I hope we see him again. I like him. Shit, Rhaenyra, you should pick his ass. Fuck it. He might not fuck you over like these grown men gonna do. Get his ass.
He's probably top contestant after that.
Yeah, I get you can't get busy with him and stuff yet, or it feels weird. But hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's coming.
You gonna get older down the line. Just saying, you ain't too old, you know. But
yeah,
unfortunately, she didn't choose the kid, so she's moving on. And Otto Hightower reveals that House Valerian is making a big move right now, a big power move. They're sitting down in the meeting as they tend to do in this series, as y'all know, and they're making a marriage pact. So they're going to have to make some moves very quickly because he's forming an alliance with one of the strongest houses in the realm right now. So big shit could be going down. House Valerian is trying to strengthen those numbers and might be going for that throne. And Viserys is like, shit, man. I got to get that damn girl on track, man. We got to get something going here. And then Rhaenyra sneaks off with Daemon later on. Or actually, before we get there, sorry. They're having a little celebration thing that Daemon's returned and everything like that. And him and Daemon are kind of, bullshitting back and forth, kind of having fun for the meantime, keeping the peace, if you will.
That's right, yeah.
And then Rhaenyra's, she's like, oh, hey, Daemon, how you been, What you been up to and shit? And then they kind of catch up a little bit and everything like that. And then they go off and have a little conversation on the side. And he's like, hey, I understand you don't want to get married and stuff like that. I understand what happened with your mother. I get it. But don't forget, there are a lot of perks that come with the position that we have in this lineage, and it's not all bad. I've seen people get sold for worse, just being sold as slaves. And he's like, I'm like, so it ain't the worst situation you can be in, but I understand where you're coming from. And I did appreciate that conversation with him and Rhaenyra, and they have this really weird kinship and relationship that you're not really sure exactly where it's at, because if you know Game of Thrones lore, shit gets weird. So it's weird because you can't quite tell at this point. You're like, I don't know, is this weird and inappropriate, or is this a platonic, Wolverine Jubilee type relationship, or are we getting something weird?
Oh, we kind of got something later on out this episode, didn't?
Yes, we
pretty much did.
We did.
Before we get off track, let's stay on pace.
yeah, we got some weird shit a little bit later. We ain't too far off because later on that night, Rhaenyra ends up sneaking off with Sir Daemon himself, and they're gonna go during the hour of the owl, I believe they call it.
Yeah,
late at night, going out to party. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get fucked up. You know what I mean? We're getting it lit out here, and they're going out, on a night on the town. They haven't hung out in a while, so, he's showing her, having some fun and whatnot, and she's in disguise, apparently, and everyone thinks she's a little boy for some reason. I don't know if she looks like a little boy.
Or high or whatever.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are really fucked up down there, because she don't look like no little boy I done seen recently,
Yeah.
But anyway... Could play a Peter Pan if you're thinking a boy, but that's about it. But anyway, they go to this little show or whatever, and they're having this thing where they're showing Rhaenyra and her dad and all this stuff, and they're having this big old kind of SNL parody for their type of world of the whole situation of her being named heir to the throne, and they pretty much are just outright saying, we don't want this bitch on the throne at all. We want Aegon, this kid shitting himself in diapers over here, who hasn't done shit, even though she's kept the peace. And done important things. Fuck it. Let's get this kid over here just because he has a dick. So that's pretty much the thing. And she sees the disdain that they have for her, but doesn't shake her one bit. And I love that about Rhaenyra. She's very strong in her convictions, and I respect and love that about her character, man. And they end up going on, having some more fun, drinking at the different taverns and everything like that. But then shit starts to get weird, y'all, when Damon ends up taking her to a brothel.
Yeah.
And from this moment on, I was like, either he's taking her to get some with someone else, or something's going to get really weird and hillbilly-ish here. And either way, I don't know if I want to see it, because is she 18 yet? Does anyone know? Question. HBO, Warner Brothers, could you tell me something here? But I don't know. So
with the time jump and all that.
I think she is. I think she's 18 now. I think she's legal now. So it's not weird in that sense, but in the familial sense, because Damon and her end up getting a little hot and heavy. First base action.
Yeah, and I was at first when I seen that I was like, oh, what the fuck? I was like, oh, wait,
Game of Thrones early,
they're really keeping the blood together, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, I was like, we going Game of Thrones early. I see what you're doing.
I was like, okay, but that's when they were kind of get hot and heavy, and then that's when Damien kind of like he strayed away.
He gave her blue balls and left, and she's like, oh, what the fuck, David? Hey, but big shit's going down because we got a little spy on our hands, and it ain't the kid from earlier that's slicing up niggas. It's another kid, and he's been spying on him the whole time and seen her at the brothel. And this is going to come up in just a little bit, folks, because she makes it back to the castle undetected by anyone else, except she ends up disturbing, whoopsie daisy, Sir Kristen, my main man's over there, one of my fave side characters of the show so far, who held his own in the big tournament and everything like that. And he's one of her big, guards at the door and all that at the night in the castle and all that stuff. And I have been sensing sexual tension with these two the entire time anyway. So it essentially went where I thought it was going to went, but didn't think we'd see the events that led us there. But it definitely went the way I thought it was going to go, and they ended up hooking up instead. So I was glad to see that. I was like, all right, cool, consensual, non-familial sex. Good to see that.
It was like some conflation there too from Sir Kristen, because that's
he was like, I don't know. If motherfuckers find out, am I going to lose my station and lose my place?
Am I going to get freaking?
I really want some
right out the rib. Like he did. That's why he didn't really take off any of his gear. It was
not
mainly
quick.
Yeah, I don't think at all. Like all he really did was
he got naked. He got naked.
Well, yeah, at a certain point, I think after the cutscene, but before when she was taking out the gauntlet,
it took a minute. It took a minute. And he was like,
he was at that he was kind of conflicting point of oh, do I really want to do this? Do I, like as you mentioned before, there was sexual tension there, but at that point, he was just like, oh, you know what? She obviously wants to do this whole scenario, this whole situation.
Oh yeah, she wants some. She's turned on, man.
Yeah, it's both the thing.
And I don't want to go back into why, but she's turned on, so. She's like, I gotta get off, man. I gotta get this going. I've been looking at you anyways. Give it up.
Yeah. So Rhaenyra and him to end up deciding, just
let's get it on.
Yeah, and I wonder what's gonna happen later on when.
I think I might know. But I'm not really sure because I have a question about that at the end of the episode. But we're gonna get there. But the next morning, Otto Hightower, bright and early, comes to the king's domain and says, "Hey, yo, I heard some shit, man. Heard some shit you ain't gonna want to hear. So spit it out, man. Just spit it out. It's about Rhaenyra. Yeah. Did someone harm her? No. I'm afraid it's quite different than that. Just spill the beans. She ended up fucking King Daemon. I mean, or technically King Daemon. Daemon, whatever. She fucked his uncle. She fucked her uncle. She fucked your brother. What? You're lying. You're full of shit, man. He's all, not what I heard. But as we know, this is technically bullshit. They didn't fuck. They only made out.
Yeah.
So this is technically bullshit.
There's something in the end I want to add too once we get over the points.
Because I think we're on the same page there. There's something really big at the end of the episode, in a sense, for the character of Rhaenyra that I'm like, wait a minute. So, so the big rumor is spread, and Alicent, her homegirl, Rhaenyra's friend, and current queen of the throne right now, queen of the house. There you go. I was gonna say realm for some reason, but I guess realm. But queen of the realm. She overhears what's going on. She's like, what the fuck? And then she ends up approaching Rhaenyra later on and is like, hey, I heard you fucked your uncle. What the hell's going on? And she's like, hey, that's not true. I did make out with him, but she doesn't mention that. She says, I didn't do anything.
She was kind of
brought me there to have some fun, and he went off with some whore, and I didn't do anything. But he did bring me there, which is lies.
That was a lie, and I think that's what kind of caught her in that awkward.
You know, the typical teenage thing, bro. You don't want to tell the full truth. We'll tell half truth, so that way
it's like partial, and then like that's gonna like end up hurting her a lot because if she would have told like the full truth, I feel because
then they wouldn't believe shit she says. They'd be like, "Nope, you fucked. You fucked." I say,
"You fucked," and then at that point,
you soiled.
Damien
soiled it.
Damien is already gone. I feel, and plus, I would have figured the kid would have seen Damien too when he left as well. So there is some wise to it.
Yeah, man. And then the Viserys, he's like, go kick his ass and bring him to me. And then they bring him to his to the Iron Throne Court's room thing, boardroom, whatever. And then he ends up kicking the shit out of him, saying, "Yo, I heard you fuck my daughter, man. What the fuck's your problem?" And he's like, "Oh man, it's better she was with me than some other whore, right?" And I'm like, "Yo, dude, you're bullshitting. You didn't get none, bro. Stop lying. All you did was lock some lips for a minute. Then calm down. You didn't get with her." And then he's like, "Hey, wed her to me. Wed her to me." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Is he serious or is he?" I was like, "What's up with this dude?"
I think at that point, Viserys is like, "Dude, I don't even want to." That's when he was at that point. He was like, "You're getting like too out of hand. I want you to hell out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see your ass no more. You crossing the line. You done crossed over the line, drew another line, pissed on the line, and then crossed that line. Like, fuck you, bro. Like, get out of here." And I'm like, "Ooh, shit. That line has been drawn in the sand, bro. These fools ain't going to get along for the rest of the series. Guaranteed."
Yeah. So, yeah, there's all that playing out with
big shit going down. Everyone's hearing, "Oh shit,
she's
fucking her uncle. She's fucking her uncle." Oh shit.
And that's a huge rumor. And I think too, all of it was planned. I think also with Damien's
man, Hightower wants that position, bro.
I think Hightower and I think really Damien's also planning that.
Oh yeah. He got his own scheme going.
Yeah.
But yeah, between him and Hightower, motherfuckers want that throne, and so does Rhaenyra, but not in a sinister way, as we know. But yeah, we got 3 to 4 people that want the throne. Or we got a 4th person in Aegon that they want on the throne, and you got 3 other people that are vying for the throne, and then you got House Valerian that's going for the throne too. So you got 4 to 5 entities going for this thing. So you're back in that classic Game of Thrones fashion kind of thing where we want that throne. So I think it's cool that they kind of work their way back to that in a different way, but in a similar fashion to the Game of Thrones timeline, damn near 200 years from then. But not quite in the same way. But I like that they're laying that foundation and that groundwork for that kind of dynamic to be going on, because there's always someone vying for your political power, but it's getting kind of sloppier as it goes along, and it's getting really close to home, and it's getting real serious and really intense.
Yeah, it's pretty much at your own home state, and then you're pretty much just trying to figure out like how to keep everybody in line, and also trying to figure out who's going to be the one that's going to creep up behind you and kind of stab you in the back in a sense, because I have a feeling something's going to happen to Viserys pretty soon.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's when the time jump's going to end up happening. I don't know if it's he might die maybe.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, like something is definitely going to be.
I think so too.
It's definitely going to be going down, because like right now, because at the end, towards like the end of the episode, you'll see Damien. Actually, did Damien go when he woke up in that hotel? And he was talking to
his wife?
Yeah, Mysaria.
I forgot her name right now.
It was like Mysaria or something like that.
Let me get it real quick. I forgot her name. I really liked her performance actually too in both scenes she's been in. I like how she actually makes good like you remember her, even though she's not in there much.
Yeah, she's in there like from
twice, like real brief
sprinkles of time throughout like the episodes so far.
But I like it though. Sets up like some interesting stuff, and it's just a good actress. But I like it sets up an interesting dynamic with him. And that could be another thing too, man. Her having a grudge against him could turn out to bite him in the ass down the line.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, Mysaria. Right. Yeah, you're right. Played by Sonoya Mizuno. Yeah, okay, Mysaria or Mysaria. But yeah, his wife Mysaria has talked to him actually before they took him to Viserys, and then he kicked the shit out of him and all that. So my bad. I skipped a section there.
Yeah, that's why I was like trying to, before I input my 2 cents of
I forgot to write that note down
briefly. I think what might happen, I think Daemon already knows how Otto Hightower kind of how.
Yeah, dude, that whole conversation they have really goes into that.
Yeah,
it really does. Like when he says like, "My dad died 5 days after you," or "My granddad or my dad died," or "My dad died, and 5 days later you became the second most important person in the fucking kingdom." Coincidence? I think not.
Oh no, wasn't that towards like towards the daughter, like the wife, like Viserys' wife ends up dying, and then like 5 days later, you end up sending in Alicent to comfort me on my Morse.
Oh yeah, he brought that up too.
Oh,
but he also said like back in the day when his dad passed away, he was king for 5 days, and then within that time, Otto Tower. He died of a burst belly, seemingly out of nowhere, and then after that, Hightower took his position that he's had all this time under Viserys. And I'm like,
that is correct. Yeah, and then that's when he was like, it's kind of suspicious, and all of a sudden, like now your daughter is being born, and that's when that scenario plays out. So yeah,
he's like, oh shit, huh?
Viserys isn't dumb. Like he already knows. He's like, yo, I see what you're trying to do.
It took me a minute. You sly dog, but I got you now.
Like you had me blind for that moment because of my death of my wife and the death of my child.
Got me through the hardest part of my grief. Literally is what he said.
Yeah, and he's like now, like he pretty much is telling him, I'm starting to see a clearer picture now, and I'm going to demote you from hand of the king. Like you're.
Yep. And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. So what does that mean now? Is that he's just a commoner, or?
Yeah, I don't know what.
Or does he just go down a level? Like, what does that mean? I think he just goes down to where he was before, huh?
Yeah.
So he's in there, but he's just one of the people sitting there. He's not like a main person. It like brings up a big point in like a lot of those earlier scenes in the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah,
mostly.
I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I think we'll probably will see it a little bit more within the
next episode
for sure.
That's one thing I love with this series so far. They set something up, they get to the next episode, they do it, they address it, they move forward. They set something up, they address. You know what I mean?
They're actually addressing shit. That's one of the things I do enjoy with this show.
They have enough lingering to keep you invested in it that you don't know, because you don't know what the end game of the Targaryen house is. Because much later, it's so much different much later, you don't really know the whole end game. But they keep you intrigued with who's going to get this Iron Throne. Is it Rhaenyra? Is it this person? Is it that person? But they resolve things and they keep it moving forward. That's the one thing I think with things like, with shows like Rings of Power and She-Hulk, regardless of the difference of like vibe or anything, or what people's opinions differ in quality level there, I do think while it is a great episodic format that they're going with right now, it is a little bit unclear if there is some of those lingering plot lines. Are those going to get addressed, or are we just going to keep sticking with that villain of the week kind of vibe? So it is a little unclear at this point, almost about halfway through the season, where we're going to stand. But that could automatically change. Yeah, just a little bit right now. You know, we're not sure if we're just doing villain of the week all the way through, or if we got that Blood, Titania, other storyline stuff that's going to be building to something a little bit more. So we're not quite sure yet when we're about 4 episodes in right now as the recording of this video. 5's dropping this week.
This Thursday.
We got to wait and see kind of where those things go. But at the moment, not really clear yet. This series, we know exactly what the end goal is of this season. We know where everything's going. We know the characters. We know where everyone stands. And everything is addressed and moved forward in each episode, so we don't have all these lingering-ass plot points. Like, will they find out if she was with Daemon? Find out next week. No.
Old school fucking...
You know what I mean? No. You know this week, and you know what's up, and everyone knows, and everyone's talking about it, and they move on to the next thing. Hightower's been demoted. She's slept with someone now. She hasn't chose. Now she's also chose who she has to wed. Because Viserys said, well, since you wanted to go around fucking people and shit, now you're going to have to marry who I tell you to marry. And that is going to be none other than Sir Laenor Valerum.
Sir Laenor.
Sir Laenor Valerum.
And he was like the one that Viserys is trying to like tell her like he's like one of the higher houses, right?
Yeah, and not the guy in last episode, but one of the other people he mentioned, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like now with that marriage going through,
big power play
is going to be like that. Yeah, it's going to be solidified of them being in control of like pretty much like over like
the realm. No matter who gets the seat next, they're going to stay in control or have a really really big power struggle with the house, the other house, the Snake King, the other people's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I think that's going to be one of the big conflicts. Them, and then Daemon, and then Rhaenyra and the gang. That's kind of our big 3 kind of factions right now. At least the way it looks like to me that they're kind of setting it up.
Yeah, so it's going to be... I'm actually, like I said, like with this show overall, I'm enjoying it a lot. Like
me too, man.
Like I like either if I watch it Sunday night or like some like
Monday morning, Sunday night, whatever.
Sunday night. Like I know it's gonna be an interesting to watch for sure because like they're really taking us with a whole new cast. Like for me, like this majority of this cast, I have no idea who they are.
Yeah,
I only
same
know
here.
off of like the TV shows. I know like the people.
I know
in
like
the
two
books.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like now like the only
Three,
time like
technically.
the only time like I guess like we would kind of know, which would only be the only premise, is like if we read the books and we already know a lot more deeper characters, which is cool. It's cool to actually like be able to see all the characters that you read from the books come to life.
Yeah,
but
most definitely. But I'm just a straight up TV movie watcher. You're a Game of Thrones guy, or just the show.
The TV show. Yeah, the TV
so
show,
we're not coming
like
with
that.
any of the deeper lore or the novels or the comic books or anything like that. And no disrespect to people out there that love that stuff we're just more casual.
Yeah, like for them, like I always enjoyed like having the people who are. I remember back in the day of Game of Thrones when we had like the watch parties for the episodes. That I would have friends who would read the books and they'll kind of tell me like more in details like of what did we watch the episode of. They'll be like, okay, so like this character is more in depth of this way, or this story is a little bit more spread out because we get more character development with so and so. So do you know a lot? There is like a lot more detail within the books than compared to shows, as obviously before. But it's always cool to have those people who are like that diehard fans is spreading out more information about pretty much what we're watching in the show. And I'm sure like there's like probably like a lot of details that we've seen in the last couple of episodes that people who have read the book, that there is a lot more gray detail coming in within each character and stuff like that. Because
man, they're probably picking up on all these things that they're setting up, and all the dominoes are setting up to drop at some point, you know?
Yeah.
So that's always really cool as a fan and everything like that. And then one other thing too, speaking of the overall lore, they did have a big old prophecy of their bloodline, the son who will be king or something like that. Song of Ice and Fire, man. Jon Snow shit. Am I mistaken here?
Oh,
that's the Jon Snow prophecy, isn't it?
It's like pretty much. The thing is like I think they were prophesizing like somewhat of Jon Snow, but I think with Jon Snow is like they were going off of the resurrection of somebody. I got to rewatch like the show because
I think he's related to the Targaryens. Isn't he half Targaryen?
He's half Targaryen because of Ned Stark ends up hooking up with one of our I forgot her name. Within
I can't remember either. I think she's in the series possibly.
Within
there's someone from Game of Thrones that could potentially be in this. I have to get the name. We'll discuss this next episode.
As like a name drop for sure, but like within Game of Thrones, there probably was a name drop mentioned.
There's someone that lived long enough where she would be a young woman right now in the series, where she was like hundreds of years old. You would know. It's like it starts with the M or something. And Elizabeth Olsen's rumored to be in the series for season 2 and could be playing this character.
Oh,
but I'm not
really?
sure. Yeah, because she'd be in her 30s, 20s at this point. And they're saying that she could play this character potentially, but there's rumors of her being in the series regardless, though, next season. I'm hoping so. That'd be fucking cool. But anyway, but they did the whole Song of Ice and Fire, the son that will be born in my bloodline thing. So I love how they're setting that up. Even I picked up on that. And I was like, oh, shit, hey. So I love how that ties it into the universe. So I was like, hey, if you watched all 8 seasons, here you go. This definitely matters, and we're setting up a lot of Knights of the Old Republic style stuff that's going to definitely play in, Rule of Two and all these different things in that nature from that series for Star Wars. They're definitely going to be setting up probably here for the big Song of Ice and Fire universe, if you will, Game of Thrones and whatnot. So I love that timeline.
Yeah. So it's going to be cool, and it's going to be cool to see a lot more of what they're going to introduce within this current time frame of
for sure, man. We're 4 years down. We're 167 years now to go.
And like the time skip seems pretty seamless. Like there's obviously some changes for sure.
They address it quickly, and then it's like, and you can obviously tell too. It's like things are kind of going. Damon's hair changes. He acts different. Things are different. I like how you can tell there's been a time jump. You just don't know how much time, and then they address it, and then they move on. It's not like a lot of like wasted time of exposition and all that kind of stuff. They kind of let you pick up on those details because it's always like a small line of dialogue that you can easily miss.
Yeah, and I think what they're gonna end up doing, because like that too, Viserys' like scars from sitting on the chair,
you can see that.
You see a lot of it growing. I was like, oh my fucking god, you're getting like he's gonna end up dying because of that, like for sure.
Yeah, like that, or someone's gonna do some shit, but it's one of the two. Yeah. I feel like within the next episode or two, Viserys is getting he's getting got, bro.
And I wonder what they're gonna do with that, because like the throne is still there, unless they like do something with the throne to make sure it doesn't happen to everybody like ever again.
They'll probably wear certain types of stuff or like some kind of protective like armor or something that like they'll build into the material where it won't get. Because that doesn't happen later, right? Like in Game of Thrones.
No, like because like I mentioned, like in the first episode, like the throne. Like the swords was a lot more condensed in instead of how it was when we see it in this series.
See, they probably
it's more spread out.
Caught on to that, yeah.
Maybe, and they probably like did some revamp, because like you seen it with Damien, like he brought Viserys the sword from when he
he said add this to the thing, and I was like, oh, I get it.
And I wonder, like, are they gonna rethink, like, okay, so we're gonna have to do something because this just killed Viserys as maybe as a possibility.
That could be.
Like there's like some infection, because like in the Game of Thrones, Robert Baratheon, Joffrey, I think even Tywin, they didn't really wear any armor. Like Joffrey, he was just sitting there in his casual fucking wears, and I was like with a crown on his head, and they didn't really wear too much armor. But like there was a different aesthetic to the throne, so that's why it was just kind of like I wonder if they're just gonna probably sometime in the future probably revamp it or do something to it, so like other future kings. And
I guarantee it. I think regardless if he dies from that or not, I think they will do that anyway.
Yeah,
because they got to line up visually what it looks like, and I think they'll probably bake that into this storyline, so it makes a lot more logical sense. So they can meet what we know, but do it in a way that actually makes logical sense. Because sometimes prequels, they'll explain things in a way that's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you built C-3PO. What are you talking about?
Right, so like,
they wiped his mind, huh? Okay.
So like that's why I think like when you mentioned before we got on camera, like you're gonna start watching like the Game of Thrones series. And
yeah,
stuff
man.
like
I actually do plan on diving into season 1, and and don't worry, guys, I'll cover it here on the channel. But I think after this wraps up, I'm gonna do that whole GOT dive, man, for sure.
Yeah, you'll see like especially within the throne, like some changes like that, and then like we'll probably get it addressed like probably this season, or if we ever get it addressed.
Yeah, I think within the first 2 of House of the Dragon, you'll probably get that, because they're gonna be jumping quite a bit.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. Like you'll probably pick up like some things here and there. I don't think like a lot of the cast like you'll hear that you'll see is obviously it's gonna be different.
By the end of the series in general,
I would say like I would say like in general when you're getting into the show, I think the only thing you'll probably recognize is like the throne room. I think the only difference you probably won't really recognize a lot.
More names,
is like the
more like
the chair, the names,
and lore,
like
things like that.
In like their Targaryens at that point in time,
because I know they're in a much different. I was like, I know they're much more on that Kryptonian kind of vibe. Very few and far between. Post No More Mutants. You got like 30 of them running around. So I know that's definitely the vibe. So that's why this show intrigued me.
Very scarce.
Because I looked that up. I was like, oh, okay. Was there like a big house of them in the Game of Thrones? I was like, how many houses are in Game of Thrones? And they're like, oh yeah, there's this, and this. And they're like, yeah, the Targaryens are very few and far between. Like, I'm not what's Emilia Clarke's name again?
Emilia Clarke's.
Emilia Clarke in Game of Thrones. Is it Cersei or what is it?
Oh, Daenerys.
Daenerys, thank you, Cersei.
Oh, I was like, we're trying to remember.
Daenerys. Daenerys. She's a Targaryen, obviously. We know Jon Snow is, but I don't think that's a thing he knows.
He didn't
in the beginning, does he?
He didn't really know about that. Well, Jon Snow didn't know about that until like the last 2 seasons, I believe.
Figured that. Yeah,
I figured that was later. The end of season 7. Actually, no, it was at the end of season 7 or the big.
Between 6 and 8. I know for sure.
I would say between like. Because I'm trying to remember way back when.
Yeah, it's been a minute. You haven't rewatched it in a long time, right? Like the whole thing.
Oh no! Like after that whole tragedy of like the season finale, like for me, I think it was like season 8, because that's when Daenerys and Jon Snow kind of like there was some. Like that's when like they were already teamed up, but there was already confrontation there, because he's the
rightful heir to the throne. I see.
And that's when everybody at that time respected Jon so much
more.
Yeah, because like he already had his story arc of
Battle of the Bastards, dog.
Yeah, like he was like that warrior type that people would follow.
In the world, and then his arc, like he's like the guy. Like I know Jon Snow. I knew that guy before any other character in the show.
Yeah, before
I remember like Jon Snow was like a thing. Like that was always the thing.
Yeah, and it was like, and that's when Daenerys was like kind of not liking it, because a lot of people didn't really like she thought she was like the rightful heir too until she finds out like
he was like
and then like she finds out like Jon Snow is actually the true heir because he's related to so and so, and then that's when she was like, okay, well, fuck. Nobody knows about it yet.
Because it's still that same tradition, male heir, right? Like it still goes in
at that point,
that format. Yeah. So that's why I was like, yeah,
she was trying
to
break that chains through it, but when that whole reveal happened, knowing like where Jon comes from, that's when it kind of shifted. It shifted throughout that time. You'll see it like, if you ever want to like when you get to the later scenes, you see that shifts. But that's pretty much what happens, like with the whole Daenerys situation and stuff like that.
Cool, man. Good book note stuff I've been keeping in the back of this dome, man, when we're watching this thing. But yeah, so many great things that they're setting up, man. I'm loving everything we're seeing in this episode. This is by far my favorite episode of the series so far. I loved this episode. It's the only episode I can fully say I loved it. I really enjoyed season. Episode 1, episode 2, I'm honestly not a fan of. Episode 3 I thought was really freaking good. Not quite as good as 1, but I think it was really close. But this one right here, this gives you everything you want, maybe minus a dope-ass action scene or two. Other than that, or some dragons. Didn't see any dragons. I don't like that. But other than that, I can't complain about this episode one fucking bit. I was on the edge of my seat seeing everything going on. I was disgusted. I was intrigued. I was laughing. I was all that. It was a great episode, man. And the whole rest of the season, I got to see. I got to know what happens. And I'm so much more invested than I was in the previous weeks. I'm all in on this. And this is a definite, like, must see by the end of my night. Sundays, every night, every week, man. Like, somehow, some way, I'm watching this before I go to sleep every Sunday.
I love this, bro. It's when Game of Thrones is at its peak. That's how it pretty much was when it comes to
so good, man. Like, it's like if it continues at this path, it won't be better than The Boys or Stranger Things for me, man, or even Peacemaker, but it's gonna be up in that echelon for sure. Like, it's gonna be in that tier. But it ain't gonna knock them out the spots, but it's gonna be in that tier, man, because it's so damn good so far, man. And if this is the kind of vibe we're getting the rest of the season, and I'm praying we do, I'm in, man.
100% in for it. Yeah, dude. I'm 100% behind it with you. I'm enjoying it so far. Like I mentioned before, I'm already anticipating for each episode, and I can't wait to see what's coming around the corner. I can't wait to see what leads the time skip.
Yeah, we're episode or two away, because according to the rumors, this last episode, episode 5, should be the last one within this relative point in the time period. They should be jumping about a decade or so, I hear, in episode 6.
Really? Okay, so that's
I read that on like the Vulture or one of the more reputable sources out there, that they were reporting on that there's a potential for episode 5 to be the last episode in this this part of the timeline.
Okay. So yeah, so that's gonna be cool to see. I want to see like if they're just gonna do it just like right off the get-go, or if there's gonna be some type of confliction, like maybe somebody dies or something happens and it leads on to that, to that whole time skip, or it could just be simple as that. Rhaenyra ends up getting married. They end up time skip 10 years later. Viserys ends up probably dying from that chair or some shit like that.
And then her man gets the throne, and she becomes queen. Because that's the thing. I think that's the way it's going.
Yeah.
Because Aegon's too young. They're not gonna do nothing with that kid right now.
Bro, I think that's why it's like it's
down the line though. I got my eyes on him. Down the line.
Yeah. So that's why it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna enjoy. I'm really anticipating everything coming up. The time skip, fight scenes, the whole political gain.
Yeah, man.
Each characters to see what.
Yeah, more of this, less episode 2 vibe.
Yeah,
man, just sitting around in a room talking.
But you kind of need to have that, right?
I know.
You gotta have that just for the setup.
This one, I felt like it had that, but it was more dynamic in the way they were doing it. Someone busts in the room. Hey, I gotta tell you something. They're at the thing, or he comes in, he's beating the shit out of Damon. Yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's more interesting the way they're presenting it. I think it's just episode 2. It was so like dull the way whoever directed or wrote that. It was just so dull the way they put that one together. At least for me. 3 and 4, I was just glued to the TV. 1 as well. Right. It was just like 2. I was like, ugh. Okay, we get it. Get married. All right, move on.
I kind of have that.
Send the crab guy. We get it. Just send him already, or make a decision, dude. Like, why is it taking a whole episode? Send a Raven. Do something. Like, I was like, God damn, man. Like, this is so dull compared to the first episode. I was like, and that had a lot of talking too, but it was just like there was shit going on,
Yeah. Oh, and leading off too. Just before, like...
right. We almost forgot about one of the most important things in there that I'm not even sure what I saw. What's in that shit that he gave her to drink? Because the doctor comes in and gives Rhaenyra, like, some kind of drink, and he says, in case there's any unwanted consequences. I'm like, Is this the early form of abortion?
That was like their form of Plan B. That's
Plan B type shit, right?
Yeah,
or not abortion. Like. I meant to say. Oh my god, I can't believe I said that. I meant to say birth control. Cool. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
I didn't mean to trigger anyone out there. My bad. I meant to say birth control.
Yeah, but no, it's in a sense it was there just to like cleanse, do that whole like that.
Yeah, because ain't nobody got no rubbers and shit. Ain't nobody pulling out back then.
So at that point, like that's the whole reason why that flask was there. And it was kind of towards like that, that little shade that the father was doing with the daughter, saying like, you know what, you got to make sure you're cleaned up and have you birth for one of the higher
with homeboy
houses with the homeboys next door.
Yeah, what the hell's his name again? I'm already forgetting it.
Yeah, look, and that was like the main thing. And that's when she looked at that bottle and she was like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah. She was like, what the heck is going on? Like that's when that whole playing around, like I feel like Damien kind of set it up too, because he knows a Hightower is gonna have fucking spies. There is a character like that in Game of Thrones. You'll see him when you do watch it. But yeah, I feel like it's a setup upon the setup.
He knew that he would be doing some shit like that, so he figured, hey, we'll go out on the town and we'll do some shit, and then that's gonna ruffle some feathers, and then I can get even one step closer. And get to that throne, man.
And left her, and that's when Damien left her that way, because like she was already kind of undressed, kind of looking like that part. And then Otto Hightower is like, spy was like, you know what?
They just got down,
They just got down, and that's when like that whole thing what we mentioned before starts playing.
Damn, bro, you're so. Oh my god, man, you just cracked the code, bro.
I'm telling, dude, that's how like it. That's like what I may be wrong, but that's what pretty much like.
I feel like you're on the money with that, dude. I feel like you're on the money with that.
Like that's why like Damien was like talking to what's her face? I forgot her name, like his wife, so to speak.
Oh, Masira,
and then that's when she like kind of like the kid was there too. The kid was there as well. So I think there's like so much that plays off that Damien knows that he's gonna have to like trick Otto Hightower and kind of demote him, throw him off his game, so he's not in as much into the picture. Into the way, so Damien can kind of do his own thing. That's why I'm like pretty excited to see like the upcoming episodes of what's gonna be playing out.
Me too, man.
With everything,
the action is gonna be coming, bro. You know the big fucking. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
So it's coming, man.
So
but yeah, dude. But we gonna do this. We're gonna do this last little segment, man, before we sign off for the day, y'all. So bear with us here. I think you should be seeing this section of the show where we like to do a little bit of a prediction and reaction to the preview for the next episode. So this is the episode 5 preview right here, man. We're going to do a little live reaction and just discuss a few of the points in there, things that stuck out to us, and then we'll wrap it up for the day, y'all. But yeah, so if copyright didn't get in the way, hope you enjoy this segment, y'all.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I wish to propose a marriage to my daughter and heir. A royal wedding.
Royal wedding, man.
Kind of what it goes. A second age of dragons.
Yeah, dragons. We're gonna see dragons for sure. Fuck yeah.
Your succession will be challenged. Knives will come out.
Woo! Knives Out 3. Oh yeah, let's go. See? I told you, man. Action's coming.
The king will die. A different era.
Oh! I told you, it's that fucking chair, bro.
Prepare Aegon to rule.
Woo! Dude. This is the game.
Dude, this is gonna be fucking hyped, bro. Oh my
god. That preview?
That's everything I heard about this show and I've seen clips of, and I'm like, that's what I wanted when they fucking pitched this thing. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm actually more pumped to see next Sunday already.
Fuck yeah, man.
I had a feeling when Viserys is gonna start dying and he's at his weakest point, that's when everyone's gonna be hitting the fucking shit.
The husband's in the fucking thing, and then he has to start preparing Aegon to take over from his ass when he gets old and weak.
Yeah, and that's when I'm like, okay, this is gonna be. We're gonna see that conflict maybe within that celebration or something like that.
Daemon gonna come up and kill her man, and take her as his wench. And take the throne. There's so much shit that can go down. We didn't even see him in the preview, dog, except for one shot.
Maybe one shot.
So we don't even know what he's up to, man.
Dude, I'm gonna rewatch that freaking clip like once we get off air, because that dude, just seeing that and like everything break out so fast that way.
Fucking rumble, fucking fights, dragons, and there's a lot of shit going down. Like fucking Viserys, we've been calling it.
Yeah,
dead.
I told you that
RIP,
fucking
bro.
chair is gonna end up getting him killed.
Yeah,
from what
man.
it looks like, because like he has like
this is
all
definitely
that shit
setting
around
up that
him.
time skip for the 10-year skip for
Yeah.
next episode 6. That is
Yeah.
so the trajectory, because
Yeah.
right at the end of this episode, that's your king. That's your
Yep.
heir right there.
Yep.
That's whoever comes out on top in episode 5, I think is gonna be the leader till the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's just a prediction. I don't know, but I think
It
that's
could be. It could
whoever's
be.
sitting on that throne at the end of the episode 5. That's your guy or girl. That's your person.
Yeah, and then that's when it leads on to episode 6, that time skip, and we're gonna see the
Olivia
whole-
Cook come in as
Olivia
Allison.
Cook. Yeah,
And the other actress come in as Rhaenyra, man. And I'm gonna miss seeing our girl Emmy Walcott, man. She's been great. But goddamn, man, that's exactly what I wanted from this show. This episode we just watched this week, episode 4, and that preview right there with the blend of episode 1. That's what I came to this series for. I'm hyped. Skips is hyped. You let us know. Did you love this episode half as much as we did? Did you think it's meh?
yeah,
Do you think we're tripping balls? Are you not digging this at all? Are you just done with Game of Thrones? No matter where on the spectrum you land, we want to hear your thoughts down below in those comments, man. If you're listening on the podcast feed, you can still hit us up. Holla at us over there on Instagram, Twitter. All that information is going to be in the description, man. So make sure you follow us over there. Let us know what you thought about it, man. Drop a comment on the post, on the shoot us a DM, man. And, let's try to keep it civil as always, guys. Let's try to have fun, you know what I'm saying? And just remember, it's pop culture, it's entertainment. It's here strictly for that entertainment and fun, man. And we can't wait for this episode 5, guys. And we can't wait to break down all the nitty-gritty, crazy details and everything that goes down with it with you guys next Monday. Same time, same place, same channel. Any parting words, my friend?
As always, be safe, be mentally strong, and
Hell
I
yeah,
can't wait
baby.
to hear you
Get
guys'
those
thoughts
reps.
for this episode. And I want to
Hell
know if you guys are
yeah.
gonna be hyped for next episode, because I'm pretty pumped.
We gonna be getting it on, man, for that Game of Thrones every week, every Monday. Come here, set hashtag more cowbell. You won't miss it every Monday morning. Come tune in every Monday afternoon, and we're gonna have that week recap for you for the next 6 episodes on running, man. And don't forget, guys, we got so much shit going down on the channel. Clerks 3 is dropping this week. I'm gonna have a review for that dropping this week, guys.
right.
So don't be missing that. We're not done with the View Askew review series. I got 2 more installments of that dropping this week as well. All the big D23 news. We're going to do a short little recap of all that stuff. Talk a little Disney and Pixar as well. Talk about the Lucasfilm and the Marvel stuff. Get into all the details. And we would love to hear your thoughts on that. And we're going to be doing those weekly recaps as well for Andor starting next week. Star Wars is back on the small screen,
that's a whole
and we're going to be
other
doing
thing
that
there.
every single week, man. 3-episode preview. We got a lot of shit to get into for Andor, guys, and we're going to be doing She-Hulk every single week for the remainder of its run as well. And for all those Middle Earth fans, Rings of Power, we got a review coming for that real shortly as well, and we're going to be covering that for the rest of season 1. Maybe not every week, but we're going to have coverage for it nonetheless. And don't you think we forgot about it? Hey, Cobra Kai, baby,
Kai,
season 5. It's still coming. We ain't slept on that. We just finished the season this past weekend. We're gonna get with our resident Cobra Kai enthusiast, C-Dub, man, and I'm gonna let him know we got to get on it, man. We got to get in the dojo. It is time. Strike first, strike hard, and make sure you click subscribe and strike that shit hard right there, man. We're gonna have so much content coming. I almost can't even keep up with it, man. I have to keep a list. We got to keep a list around here. We got a lot of stuff coming, guys. And we want to say as well, so much love to all of you viewers out there. We're about to hit our first 60 subscribers, guys. Be a part of that big milestone. Be a part of history as we're building up this huge fandom frequency network and huge fandom frequency community to come in the future. Be a part of something great. Be a part of something from the ground floor up, and click that subscribe button today. And much love to each and one of you that has, and anyone that watched this episode. Thank you so much. We're going to see you again real soon. And until then, peace out. Stay up.